You're everyone. I'm Wally, and the rest of the listeners are Brennan, and we're roasting chips, yes.
Hello!
What's up?
I beat Brennan again.
I,
It's two
I,
podcasts
I,
in a row.
I don't think so. Comment down below who won. There we go. I'm gonna
It's pretty
engagement numbers
obvious.
up only if it's on YouTube, and no one listens to this on YouTube. I don't think it's all Spotify and Apple Music and all
Oh
that
yeah,
jazz.
only because I looked at the YouTube statistics the other day, and we had 0 views on the last episode. Guys, go watch our YouTube channel. My YouTube
You
channel.
should. So if you can't comment because you're not watching it on YouTube, then
Leave a review.
specifically email Spotify. And I believe their email is spotify@aol.com. Email them with who you think won, who you think said the greeting first.
Yep.
And it's also Apple Music at AOL.com.
Of course, everyone uses AOL. Obviously, duh.
Yep.
Duh. Well, you know what? This is a good time to plug our YouTube channels. Go watch my YouTube channel.
Yeah.
It's Wolfgate Entertainment. Go watch Brennan's channel. It's not Brennan. He'll post something maybe eventually. Who knows?
Maybe eventually.
Maybe
Perhaps.
eventually.
No deadlines.
Maybe we'll finally get around to making that moving right along video that we've wanted to make for years.
That would actually
on
be
your channel.
We might be able to do that now that we have more experience with filming and stuff. I need to learn how to put a camera in a car and make it look not horrible, but
and we have driver's licenses now.
Yeah, that also helps.
That's how long ago.
And cars. We also have cars.
Yeah, that's how long ago we came up with that idea.
Yeah. That goes way back.
A very long time. We've not done it yet, of course. But
No.
I wanted to start this episode off not with news, which we will get to, but I found something out about Mark Hamill, our good friend.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Friend. This is something that neither of us knew, even though we're such close friends with him. Has he been keeping secrets?
I mean, you might have known. I didn't know this, but one of the creators I follow on TikTok, he left a comment on their video and he signed it to Mark Hamill, but he spelled out MAR and then put the camel emoji. And I just found that so fascinating.
That is so.
So it's
brilliant.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. I just found that it's fascinating. I thought you'd enjoy that.
Mark Hamill. I do enjoy that. I thoroughly enjoy that. Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. Yeah, I love that man. He's great.
I wonder when in his life he discovered that. If it was at like a young age or in his like 20s or like 40s or whatever. Just the joy that must have brought him.
You think he just went through it and so you know how like people do like signatures? He just did MAR and then started drawing a camel. It's like what's taking him so long to do all these autographs? Gets it back. Oh, he drew Mark Hamill. That's why it took you so long.
Yeah, it's just like MAR and then like a very like elaborate like portrait of a camel with like watercolor and like Sharpies and like other kinds of paint. I don't know a lot about art stuff, but
clearly.
Yeah.
just say vague buzzwords about art. That's like I figured that out with like different things that they come out with now. It's like they say the word technology and people are like that sounds cool. Technology's become a buzzword.
Yeah, and like even the prefix meta, like a couple of years ago, it became this huge buzzword.
Oh, yeah.
And like neuro and stuff. But like with meta, got to the point where now there's like the metaverse. They like took it all the way up to that. It's all just buzzword. And apparently the metaverse cost Facebook like billions of dollars of value,
really?
Which honestly don't know how they didn't see that coming. No one I knew was excited about the metaverse. No one was like, woo, yay. So I have no idea why Facebook. Oh well, any loss of value they have, I'm fine with because I don't like Facebook.
No.
The app is just I cannot stand.
I go on, retweet or repost a meme and then get off. And it's usually the first thing I see.
I go on for the community fan pages and the community fan pages alone, not just generic, fan pages for communities, but fan pages for the hit,
the show,
not hit, I guess. The the failed
Cult
NBC series Community. Yes,
It is
is
a cult
now
classic.
evolved into a cult classic. It had like very hardcore fans at the time of airing. Then it got canceled like a million times, and then it killed Yahoo Screen, and now it's a cult classic.
Yeah, the more people that find out about that show, like it's definitely one of those shows. It's like it was like it had its small fan group at the beginning, and then like after it got canceled and after everything was said and done, now it's getting popular.
Yeah,
somewhat. I mean, speaking of Facebook, you can watch it on Facebook. It's the only place you can watch the episode that was removed everywhere else.
And Amazon. It's on Amazon now, I think.
Oh, is
I'm
it?
not sure if it's available for free on Amazon or not.
Oh, okay. Well, everything's on Amazon.
Yeah, well, someone posted to say, like indicating that it was free, but I can't verify that because I don't care, I guess. I own it on DVD, so
yeah,
I'm one
so
of
you don't even have to
those
worry
people.
About
I'm one of those people.
Well, I tried to find it the other day. Where I don't remember where it was. It was somewhere. But like they had this giant video section. I was like, I'm gonna see if I can find Community and How I Met Your Mother. I found season 6 and 7 of How I Met Your Mother, which is when I started hating that show.
Nice.
Couldn't find Community though.
Sad.
I know. But let's get into some news. We'll talk about Community maybe probably in a couple episodes. We'll have nothing to talk about for a couple episodes there.
We'll get so desperate we'll have no choice but to circle back around episode 4 of this podcast, right?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I think this is episode 40, if I remember correctly.
40? Hey.
Yeah. Good job. Yeah, look at us.
We made it.
I know. So Rick Riordan himself announced on the 25th that Percy Jackson and the Olympians is officially happening.
Yes.
On Disney Plus. You sent me that.
I sent you that tweet. Bam.
I flipped out right there in my desk chair. I was doing cartwheels across the office. People were wondering what the hell is he doing? Shouldn't he be eating lunch? And yeah, I am so excited for that. I wonder when it's going to come out. I don't even care. I'm just excited.
Yeah, this is huge news because like it had been in the works for a while, but it officially has the green light now, which from what I gather means no matter what, it is happening in some kind of a capacity here. The one concern I have is when he talked about the director or producer or something like that. He was like, oh, I know this guy will do a great job because his kids read the books. And I was like, that's not the biggest vote of confidence that like I would say if like I had faith in this guy being like, oh yeah, like somebody in his household is familiar with the material. That's all you got to say. I'm like, let's just hold on. But like, I'm still trusting him. He seems excited about it too. He said in the past that Disney's allowing him to have more control over it than when the movie was made by whatever studio that was. So I'm
Warner
trusting
Brothers, I think
it'll be not horrible, but we'll see.
Yeah, those movies were bad.
I never realized because I remember like the Percy Jackson the Lightning Thief movie. I never realized he got a sequel.
Sea of Monsters. Yeah. I watched like 5 minutes of Sea of Monsters once, and I was like, wow, this is really bad. Because when I went and saw Lightning Thief, I hadn't read the books yet. My friend Daniel, he had read the books, and he went, and I think his mom did. She was a librarian at the school. Remember Miss Williams?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so
maybe I'm horrible with names.
I went with
and
them.
Faces and people.
That's fine. So I went and saw with them.
Just all of the aspects.
I'm just bad with people.
Yeah.
So I went and saw with them, and they're just like, "Well, this movie kind of sucks." I'm like, "I don't know. I thought it's pretty good." And then I read the books, and I went back and watched it. I was like, "Never mind. This sucks."
I read book 2 before I read book 1. It was on accident. I was at the book fair in elementary school, and I picked up the Sea of Monsters. I was like, "This looks cool." I didn't realize that there was a number 2 just on the side there. So I read as if it was like the first book of something. And I was like, wow, they're expecting me to know a whole lot that they just haven't told me. And then like at some point I was like, oh wait, this is a sequel.
Yeah.
And
you went back and read the first one?
Yeah. I went and read Lightning Thief. I was like, this is dope.
Yeah.
Then I read all of them. Except for I haven't read like the new like series.
Oh yeah. Like the Trials of Apollo?
Jackson. Yes. I haven't read that one, but the first 2 of them, the first 2 series that took place in like the mythology were very good.
Percy
Very, very,
Jackson,
very
the
good.
Olympians, and then Heroes of Olympus
Yes.
with a two series. So you borrowed Mark of Athena for like 4 years.
Yeah. You have it back now, right?
Yes. I made
Okay.
sure of it before I left for college, even though I was just
Yeah.
going down the road.
Yeah. Okay. I just
But
wanted to make sure because I don't think I still have that. I'm pretty sure
no,
that I give it back.
I bought
But
I bought 2 books ahead of where I was, and then I never finished the book that I was on. So
oh wow.
I never finished the Heroes of Olympus series. But
Wow.
later
The Heroes
this
of the
year,
Wind
I
series was
plan
really good. It was
right.
really good.
So later this year, after I eventually finish more Star Wars or whatever, I'm gonna go back and read all the Percy Jackson books.
Sweet.
And I was gonna read all the series of unfortunate events books, audiobooks, and see if I remember if those were as good as I remember them, because the show was really good.
Sweet.
If the Percy Jackson's show is half as good as, or is as good as the a series of unfortunate events show, because that was really, really good, and the movies for that were okay. Then I think they think they'll do a great job.
Sweet.
So like I said, as long as Rick Riordan is involved in any capacity, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I might have to go and reread the series at some point soon too, because like I feel like it would help me get back into reading. Like I've been trying to like I've actually been reading
That's on my list.
22 here recently, and it's pretty good, but like it's just hard for me to focus on reading. So hopefully I'll be able to make some more progress in there. I have American Psycho back on my bookshelf there. I bought a copy of the book because I have to read this. I got to page 100. We checked it out from the library and renewed it like 4 times. So now I own it. So maybe I'll get to finish that. So once I get through these 2 books to like cool down and kind of continue my reading, I will probably go back into Percy Jackson because I want to get all the way up to the Trials of Apollo and actually read through all those as well, so I know where the whole story ends. Because like I now own all of the books in like the first series and the second series. I have all of them. So if I'll just kind of go through them. I don't have them up here.
Right.
But I'll go and get them, read through them, and then hopefully I can get through the Trials of Apollo without much issue. Because those books aren't necessarily like hard to read. They're like
no, they're YA. No, they might not even be YA. I think that might be junior novels.
Yeah, like they're like
8 to 12, I think.
Yeah, or like the original ones might be 8 to 12, and I think the newer ones might be like if they're not teen or
young adult,
or are they teen now?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Couldn't
but
tell
anyway, they're not hard to get through. This book is really good, but it's a bit harder to get through.
Yeah,
compared to books made for children.
I just finished Jurassic Park, and that book was that thing that took me out. It didn't take me long to get through. It only took me like a week and a half, but that was very hard to read. There's a lot of technical information in it, but I'd read it in 7th grade because for some reason my science teacher thought that was a good idea. But it was a really, really good book, and then I went and watched the movie, and the movie sucks compared to the book.
Oh wow,
it's so different. So like looking at it from someone who's read the book, I didn't like the movie, but I liked the movie because it's a good movie. Like the movie doesn't suck.
Right.
It's just compared to the book, it sucks. But that's what I'm reading right now. It's a New High Republic book. I was struggling to get through it because I only had the ebook of a copy, and then I got this. I read 50 pages in like an hour. So
hey, nice.
Having the physical version helps me a lot. But
yeah.
So
are we on to news now, or had we already?
We're on.
News?
We had started.
We are on news. Okay.
we just went down a tangent. All right. This is gonna be a long podcast, apparently.
Especially once we get to the actual meat of what we want to talk about.
I know. Yeah. So let's get to Star Wars news. EA and Lucasfilm has officially announced 3 video games are in the production, including the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, which is just going to go. The series is called Jedi now. The Jedi series of video games. We don't know what it's going to be. We just know it's going to be.
And is EA the company that people like, or the company that people do not like?
They do not like. And actually, since I wrote this down, it's not EA. It's someone else. I just don't remember who because I never corrected this. I know the other game is going to be a first-person shooter, and then the other one is going to be a kind of an open world type deal. So these 3 games, and then also that Eclipse game for the High Republic are coming out in the coming years. But as of right now, we don't know all that much about them. Other than that, they just announced that they have 3 video games coming out. Star Wars has announced Obi-Wan Kenobi run of comics that will last 5 issues and will be written by Christopher Cantwell. It will center around Obi-Wan's memories of his life, possibly going all the way back to his days as a youngling. So we got Obi-Wan news, just not the Obi-Wan news that everyone was expecting.
Yeah.
So
where is Kenobi? Where is he? I know he's on Tatooine, but where?
I was expecting Kenobi.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it as someone who reads the comics. But by the way, I spent $50 on Star Wars comics the other day. I was supposed to be walking around a show at work, but I went to the comic book store that was nearby and I spent $50.
Sweet,
nice,
man.
Nice. But so we got a comic run of Kenobi coming up. Maybe it'll tie into the show. Maybe it won't. I don't know, but we'll get to see youngling Kenobi.
Nice.
According to the Direct, which I've never heard of, by the way, Mandalorian season.
They sound familiar.
Cool. At least one of us has heard of it. Mandalorian season 3 has delayed filming.
I
don't know how reliable the source is, but the rumor is out there in the ether. So clearly something is going on with the Mandalorian season 3. Or season 4, depending on who you ask.
Grogu is demanding more pay and has halted filming all of his scenes until he receives that.
Could you imagine just little Grogu's puppet, like the guy who does his puppet, just standing there like, I refuse until you give me more money. Do you realize how much this puppet is made? And then
or just he's like mouthing as the puppet saying that he's like, this isn't me, this is all the puppet. I'm sorry, I'm like that Batman guy. I don't know what that Batman villain's name was, but it's just like that.
Just like
that is Grogu. Grogu has so much evil flowing through him.
Grogu in real life is a Sith. He just plays the Jedi. Yeah. So now on the Marvel news, because there's not much news today, but there is news. There's a rumor going around, as there are, that Disney has 2 versions of the Multiverse of Madness. The first one is a PG-13 cut of the movie, and the second one is a rated R cut of the movie that is also a little longer and is pending approval. I say scrap the PG-13 movie, and just give us the rated R version. I want rated R.
Yeah, or if they don't like release it in theaters, have it as an option still somehow to like see. Because one movie that I will always regret that they did not just put out there at all for enjoyment is the first live action Scooby-Doo movie. The first cut of it got an R rating.
Did it really?
Yeah.
It's great.
Because originally it was supposed to be a movie aimed at teenagers and they wanted it to have a PG-13 rating, but then it went on to like, whatever. And the board was like, no, this is rated R. So they were like, you know what? Scrap the whole plan. We're gonna make this for young kids instead. Roll it all the way back to a PG version instead.
Wow.
And because all the changes that they had to make, they had already filmed everything, so just had to edit things differently.
Yeah.
But like the vibes are so wild in that movie.
It's a strange movie.
It was because it was a teen movie that they dialed back to PG-13 to PG for kids. So that's why it's a super awesome vibe. And I would love to see the original R-rated
R version.
Be so funny.
That would be great. Why haven't you asked Mark Hamill about it?
And I'm working on it. But because that movie series was originally supposed to be a trilogy, all directed by James Gunn, and there were plans for a third movie, but then they got scrapped. And with how well James Gunn is doing at Marvel and DC now, maybe at some point, eventually he'll loop back around to Scooby-Doo and make that third movie.
Wait, you're being serious? He actually made those movies, James Gunn?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Could you imagine a rated R Scooby-Doo movie directed by James Gunn? We got the Suicide Squad.
I know, right?
Oh my God. All right, now you've got me intrigued, Brennan. Tell our friend Mark to go. Mark Hamill, sorry, to go.
Mark Hamill.
To go talk to James Gunn about it. I mean, he's in all his movies. So yeah, rated R cut would be awesome. At least, like you said,
Yes.
just maybe
Release
that,
the the James Gunn cut of Scooby Doo.
This was gonna be called the Book of Mandalorian, but you know what? I think I've been convinced to change it to hashtag release the gun cut of Scooby Doo.
Yes, release the Scooby Gunn Cut.
There we go. Release the Scooby Gun Cut. I gotta write
that down
so
you do not forget. Yeah.
Release the Scooby Gun Cut. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, but it would be awesome to see the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness like R-rated version as well, because like Marvel has stayed like they've done some cool stuff. They've stayed relatively inside the line, inside the box, inside this one formula that they kind of have. So an R-rated like MCU. What?
I think 3 of the Marvel movies ever have been rated R.
Oh yeah.
Or maybe 6. I don't know what Blade was rated. The original trilogy of Blade. But
yeah.
I know it's both Deadpool's and Logan were rated R.
I'm just talking about
just
the
MCU
only. Like there's never been.
Right, but in general too, they've kind of kept away from making it rated R, except for those 3.
But like, so an actual like MCU movie that explores more and gets more into that territory would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, totally. Oh my goodness. Just give me the rating for Blade. I hate the word. I hate when you say rating. It's like review. No, it's not what I wanted. Whatever. We'll just go with the fact. We'll just assume it was PG-13. It doesn't say anything.
I can.
This is great audio.
Check.
This is great audio.
This is really quick. It's not my monitor. I want this monitor. There we go.
You have a dual monitor setup? I have one TV.
Blade movie. What's it?
I think it's just called Blade.
No, it's like MMRA. Is it that?
Well, apparently the new Blade movie won't be rated R. That's dumb.
No, like what's the name of the organization that like rates the
MPRA movies. Maybe? I have no idea.
Here we go. Wait, nope, that's not right. Hold on.
I'm the worst at remembering things, so
this is fantastic.
I know this is great content.
Listen, I'm gonna type in R or PG-13 and see if that helps.
Well, no, but then it only comes up with the new Blade movie that's coming out, and now it's gonna be PG-13, so it doesn't help anyone.
Oh God,
I know.
Okay.
I wish it would just say it like when it lists things on Wikipedia, but it doesn't.
It was rated R.
It was okay. So then,
yes,
only 6 movies in Marvel,
or at least I think so. Never mind. It doesn't confirm
goodness.
It's said it was rated for ages 17 and up.
So that's R.
But like I realize this is just a website that's like recommendations for parents and like all that. Oh yeah, no, here it is. I found it on the page. Yep, it was officially rated R.
Okay. All right. So then I'm assuming the other 2 were then as well. So that's only 6 out of how many Marvel movies have they made?
Here's Blade 2. Yep, Blade 2 was also.
And then Blade Trinity was the other one.
Rated R. I don't see that one
Whatever.
Listed here. Wow. Blade Trinity Erasure. I do not stand for it. I didn't even know it existed until
have you ever,
right now.
Have you ever seen the Blade movies? I haven't.
No.
I know Ryan Reynolds is in the 3rd one, but
I would like to see them because I know that Blade is kind of credited with like restarting the movie superhero genre, at least on a Marvel side and on DC's side kind of too, because DC for that kind of only had Batman left and that was it.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And it kind of got more people like, oh, comic book stuff can be interesting still.
Right. I think it was like that, the original Spider-Man, Ghost Rider, and like the Fantastic Four were like the first couple out, and the Hulk, the 2003 Hulk movie, which no one likes to remember.
Yeah. And Blade was interesting because apparently Blade was not a significant comic book character at all until after the movie. There was like a guy named Blade, but he was like very minor and didn't have a personality at all. And the movie came out, and then like after that, they were like, oh, we need to make the character not as bad. So
I
I'm gonna let it work. And now here, like 25 years after that movie, we're about to get a new Blade movie. Hopefully, it's as good as the first one. I haven't seen the first one, but I've heard it's good. So
yeah, I
hopefully,
have
this
to.
new one is also good.
I like how this started as Multiverse of Madness. And now here we are on Blade. But
Yeah, this literally unrelated.
but well, it's kind of related about the rated R part, but
Yeah,
only 6 Marvel movies ever have been rated R, unless the Ghost Rider ones were. But we're not going to worry about that because we don't care. Because we're not going to go through that again. But anyway, moving on. Speaking of James Gunn,
sure. Yes. Speaking of
he
James
came
Gunn,
out and said in an interview that Guardians Volume 3 will be the last time we see this iteration of the Guardians, which a lot of people to think that someone's gonna die, but I personally believe that we're finally gonna get Nova. I need Nova.
interesting.
One of my favorite. But yeah, so it looks like someone's probably gonna die. Who do you think?
Me.
Let's put money. Let's put money on it, shall we?
Okay, I hope it's not Rocket Raccoon because he is my favorite character out of all of the Guardians.
That's fair.
Um,
And if it's Groot, he's died already. So, and he
Yeah.
came back. So
um,
it is what it is there.
the new Gamora,
I was gonna say that's like probably the
Maybe.
easiest one to do because
she's
new.
not as invested.
right. Oh God. It's the first time we've had this since I got a new computer.
The easiest one.
Brennan, you froze. It's not like you can understand me because you're frozen. Oh, there you are. You're back. You froze. See, we didn't get any of what you just said. You're not frozen anymore. You just blinked. This is the first time we've had this since I got my new computer. So
Yeah, weird. I just noticed
yeah.
you stopped. Like I was responding, I noticed you stopped moving, and I was like, "Oh no!" And then it briefly unfroze, and I heard you say "ugh," and I was like, "Yeah, it's frozen." Anyway, so what I was saying is, my guess would either be a Gamora because she's new, or Star-Lord because that would change the team a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and Chris Pratt, the actor, has already taken so many other characters in other
when
movies.
is he gonna have time
away,
to come back and do Star-Lord? I mean, he's Garfield.
We need to remove
Mario, and he's
characters that he has. Yeah.
and he's in Jurassic Park, which is that new one's coming out like this month. It's weird.
Yeah, and also, I don't know if you've seen this, but Kevin Feige recently confirmed that in Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange will go to an Earth where everybody is Chris Pratt. So he's playing like all of those characters. Will be a Chris Pratt Iron Man, a Chris Pratt Captain America, Chris Pratt Hulk, Chris Pratt Black Widow, Chris Pratt Hawkeye.
So that's an interesting sight, the Black Widow one.
Yeah. Thor will actually be played by Mark Hamill though, because on Asgard in that universe, everyone's played by Mark Hamill. On Earth, obviously, all the Chris Pratts are actually played by Mark Hamill as.
Of course.
But just Mark Hamill as Chris Pratt
as all the characters.
Black Widow, yes, all
but the only one he doesn't play is Star-Lord.
No, Star-Lord is played by Garfield in a Mario hat.
It's another great title, but I already like the Scooby Cut though. So, yeah. Jesus.
You were so hard to keep a straight face while saying that.
So next piece of news: Kraven the Hunter will reportedly start filming next month in the UK.
I didn't know they were making a movie for that.
Oh, you didn't? We've covered that before. No. Yeah, it's being played by the guy who played Quicksilver in the MCU.
Oh, you did mention that, I think.
Yeah.
So it's like not in the MCU then, right? Is it in like Sony's?
Yeah, it's in Sony's thing. Yeah, who knows what they're doing over there? They're just kind of doing their own thing. But Jodie Smith Turner is rumored to be playing Calypso in the film, and it's slated for a January 13th, 2023 release, which seems very soon.
And question: when is or DS coming out again? Because I think I forgot that.
Shit, I forgot.
Is it in?
I don't know. I think it's April.
April? Okay.
I think so.
Okay, I want to say.
Why do they keep delaying it?
It was originally supposed to release in January, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
yeah.
it keeps
It
getting
was moved
delayed.
to April. Okay.
April 1st. I wouldn't be
April
surprised.
1st?
I wouldn't be surprised if they moved it again.
April Fools.
Exactly. April Fool's Morbius is coming out again at some point. It's it's turning into Black Widow. Like I'm not excited for it anymore.
Like
Not that I ever was, but
I still kind of am, but like at the same time.
it's up to I don't know.
We'll see.
According to at MCU Direct on
I haven't
Twitter,
watched Venom 2 yet. How did I let that slip by? We talked about this like a month ago. I was gonna watch Venom 2. I just realized that. I was like,
I mean, that's
wow.
okay. I haven't watched the Eternals yet either.
We're so great at our jobs.
I know, right? I haven't watched Encanto either, which I feel like I need to watch that soon because like literally everyone's talking about it and like I haven't watched it.
And like, usually I'm the one who has to convince Lauren to watch all the movies like that and stuff. But apparently, like after it came out, she watched it without me. Like that night, and I was like, man, well, I got to watch it now, and I still haven't. So I guess I missed that opportunity.
If we had more of a fan base, there's this thing called Screener where like you can like live stream yourself watching a movie, and like they have all the rights to all these movies and stuff like that. We could totally do that with Encanto, but too bad no one would show up.
We could live stream to each other.
You're right. There we go. We'll have our phones pulled up with that with ourselves on it over in the corner.
Yeah.
But
exactly. And then once we do have a fan base, we can use that app to watch the Star Wars Holiday Special. Again, subject everyone to that. We would gain a fan base, do that, lose our fan base.
Lose it.
Yeah.
Very shortly after. But according to MCU or at MCU.
Well, there goes your microphone.
For those not watching, I bumped my microphone and it fell. But according to at MCU Direct on Twitter, Loki is supposed to start filming this summer, or season 2 Loki. English is hard. Season 2 of Loki is supposed to start filming this summer, which means it should come out at around the same time as Ant-Man 3. Ooh, spooky MCU.
Quantumania, spooky.
Dude, there's so much coming out. It's hard to be invested in all of it, but I have to because of this show. I mean, I don't have to. We could talk about other things, but why?
Like
literally anything else,
I guess.
Just do a watch through Community podcast, just not being nobodies.
Yeah.
And then finally, it has been rumored that the sequel to the Joker will start filming in 2023. This is according to Heroic Hollywood, whom I've never heard of.
Wait, like the Joker movie that
sequel to the Joker
recently.
2017.
Why? That movie doesn't need a sequel, I don't think.
Does anything need a sequel, Brennan?
I mean, Eternals does for reasons that we can't talk about because you haven't watched the movie. But
no. There are very few things that need sequels.
Yeah.
Did Toy Story need 4 movies? No. But do we have
it needed 5.
Yes. Oh God. No, please don't give them ideas. They're listening.
Clearly
they're listening.
I promise you they're already working on it.
Probably. Yeah. Well, we didn't need 3 Cars movies. We definitely didn't need 2 Cars movies.
No.
1 was enough. We didn't need Monsters University either.
We needed Spider-Man No Way Home because otherwise Spider-Man Far From Home just was weird.
It's still weird. But
it's more necessary now. So.
Yeah. Well, anyway, but we're getting a sequel to the Joker.
Wow.
I don't know what else they could possibly do.
Yep. Unless it's like
use the DCEU even more.
Yeah. Unless it's only like a sequel in the way that episodes 5 and 6 of the Book of Boba Fett were like episodes of the Book of Boba Fett.
We'll get to that. But in the meantime, now it is time for Brennan's CW update, if there is one.
They stopped World War One.
That's good to know. That's
They went back, so they're not supposed to mess with the timeline. They're not supposed to change the timeline in DC's Legends of Tomorrow. But then they went back in time and stopped the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Okay.
And stopped World War One. and
What's
the
something?
evil robot cyborg versions of themselves came. And there was a huge fight, and Eobard Thawne was stabbed through the heart.
Okay.
He wasn't the Reverse Flash there. He was just some dude. Really long story on that one. This is him after he's died too, but like his final death, which took place in Legends of Tomorrow, which takes place after all of the Flash, which is still ongoing. And this Eobard Thawne was actually like the Eobard Thawne, and not Eobard Thawne pretending to be Harrison Wells.
What is the CW verse?
And then
What the hell? I don't understand.
And Sarah Lance, who's the White Canary, promised to take Eobard's place if he died, but instead just trapped a dumb robot there instead. And now this dumb robot has the sacred duty of protecting the timeline. And it's like, this isn't a good idea. Why did you think this was a good idea?
The CW or the robot? Or sorry, the CW verse or the robot itself?
The team's idea to put the robot in charge of putting it there. And also the robot talked like Arnold Schwarzenegger if you hit him on the head too hard, but only if you hit him on the head too hard. Was there anything else? Oh, Brennan? There was a bar full of time travelers there.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was kind of it, I think. There was something that was really weird about that I wanted to
that
mention.
Jeez, what are you? How do you keep up with all this? Because this is the mess. This show, is a mess.
And like, apparently, it still has like 2 episodes left. I don't know where they're gonna go with it now, because they kind of resolved. No, that was what it was. So their robot computer came to life, and by came to life, I mean formed a physical human body, and shortly after that, hooked up sexually with one of the members of the crew. But it was a magic user who brought the computer to life, who's on the team. It was actually the young girl that John Constantine actually accidentally banished to hell like decades and decades ago. She got out of hell, and she's on the team now, and like all that. Okay. But she brought the computer to life. So she's kind of like the computer's mom, and was treating this like ancient machine as a daughter, trying to keep her safe. But at the very end, learned her lesson, like, oh, I don't have to keep you safe because you're like an adult, and you can like, I shouldn't just hide you away. You have important things to contribute. So she let her out, and then the evil robot version of the magic user girl that Constantine banished to hell stabbed the robot through the heart, and now the robot's dead. But not a robot, because it was a real person who we grew attached to over the past season here. So that was a weird ending, and almost ironic in some kind of way that I don't know.
So ironically ironic.
Yeah, and that part took place in John Constantine's house, but just a replica of John Constantine's house that is trapped in hell, that can only be accessed by a magic key put into any lock.
Why do you watch the show?
What was that?
I said, why do you watch the show?
Because I'm too far invested now, and it's fun to watch something that is going to make no sense, but still be kind of vaguely entertaining.
That was a mess of what you just explained.
Yeah, and that was 2 episodes, and like that was it. This all took place in the last 2 episodes. Yeah. And apparently there's still 2 episodes left, so like this can go a million different ways in the very end here.
Cool! I can't wait for the next update. I'm glad this has become a segment on the show where you just update us on what's going on in the CW verse.
And it's so funny because I wanted to rewatch Legends of Tomorrow at like one point, but like it starts off for the first like 2 seasons so serious with no bit of irony or like any of this at all.
Yeah.
So it's so tough, like, wanting to see something like what's going on now, but like starting it over and being like, this is nothing.
Did it take itself too seriously at first?
It was just like a standard Arrowverse show for the most part, like Arrow or the Flash, where it's got that like drama or whatever. And like, it was a fine show, but it wasn't anything special. now it's something special because you're like watching this and you're like, what is going on? I cannot look away. And it's really entertaining. I hope it continues going on forever, because if it continues to evolve like this, it'll become the greatest show in the history of entertainment for a select few people. And I will be one of them. But like, it's so weird watching it from the very start. It's so weird, especially because there's like, I think the only person left on the team now who was on the original team is Sarah, Lance, or the White Canary, and that's it. All of the other original members are gone.
Like dead, or just like not in the show anymore? Like
Some
they're
are
dead, like in the show, like not their actors who dead.
Yeah. Like probably like, I think 2 or 3 of them are dead, have died. One of them got married and
just left.
Okay. One more died, actually.
Oh God. Okay.
Most of them died. Again, this team never really received any formal training whatsoever, so there's a high turnover. In fact, I think this is a slight spoiler, but in the first season, one of the original core members died in like episode 1 or 2. It was episode 2, I think. He died in episode 2.
And you're just like, oh, all right, well.
Yeah.
Nice.
Season 1 probably had like the coolest villain of like the whole show, because they fought against Vandal Savage, which I don't know how much like
None.
DC knowledge you have, but Vandal Savage is super cool. He was like this like,
say Vandal Savage.
Yeah.
Okay, it's one hell. It sounds like someone trying to be super edgy.
Yeah, he was essentially a caveman who was granted like immortal life. So like he's lived forever.
Nice.
And so like he's a really cool character. It's really cool seeing him in live action. I'm currently watching Young Justice right now as well.
Oh yeah.
Which, if you haven't seen Young Justice, you should.
I have not.
It's so complicated.
Oh good.
Like it is so complicated. You know how in like WandaVision episode 4, I did not like that episode because it just like explained everything way too much. Young Justice does that sometimes, and I'm so grateful for it, because I would not be able to follow along if they did not. There are, I think, 1,000,003 characters in that show. Really? And they all have backstories.
Oh, good.
And like you'll go 2 seasons without seeing somebody, and they'll pop back up, and like you won't get any kind of reminder of like who they are. You're just supposed to like know that. And it's like, oh yeah, you, and whatever. They'll have like interactions or whatever. Because like Young Justice has, I think they make a point to have every DC character in that show. And there's so many DC characters.
Yeah.
There was, in the last episode I watched, there was like some human dude who came up and was talking. He's like, his voice sounds so familiar. Why does it sound so familiar? I looked up his actor name. His actor name did not sound familiar. I looked up who his actor has played. It was the voice of the man in the yellow hat from Curious George. And that's why it sounded familiar. That's not related
from
to
from the original Curious George, or like the movie, because the movie was Will Ferrell.
Yeah. Not Will Ferrell, but like the original Curious George. That man.
How do you recognize a voice and like? How do you do that? Because I can't recognize a voice from a movie I watched 15 minutes ago. And if that person was in the movie I'm watching now.
It's probably because I just watched so much Curious George as a child.
Okay.
His voice was just like, that sounds so familiar. Why? And so I was like Googling. I was like, his name does not sound familiar. What was he in? And it was like Curious George. And I was that's it. So I rewound it and like closed my eyes, like that is the man in the yellow hat. He has a monkey right now. I can just see it. That's not related to the number of characters. I just thought that was like really cool. He's still around, I guess, in stuff. He's like a voice actor. I don't know why I assumed he was the voice just sprung into existence exclusively for that show and for nothing else. But yeah, watch Young Justice if you can. It's also so weird seeing it now because it's on HBO Max now. But it started off on like a Cartoon Network, like as a kid show.
Really?
Yeah. It started off on Cartoon Network for 2 seasons and then was canceled. And like 5 years later, it was, or maybe like 10 years, 5 to 10 years later, it was brought back for the DC streaming platform.
Yeah.
They got a new season. Then it was renewed for a 4th season, but then that platform no longer exists.
Right.
DC got like, but so it was absorbed by HBO Max, and then HBO Max made the 4th season. And it's so weird thinking it started off as a kid show, and now like you'll like watch it and like you'll see like a human being like ripped in half and like blood and like skeleton stuff and like all this other like really like weird stuff. We're like, hey, this used to be like a show aimed at like the like 8 to 12 age range or whatever. I don't know what Cartoon Network
that's funny
demographic or whatever is, but
yeah, that's funny.
And like, but it was always a really good quality, and it's definitely held up. It's just a lot more violent now.
So like you can go from
quality is like all the same.
Yeah, so you could go from like the end of season 2, like, oh, that's a nice kid friendly story, and then like the opening of season 3, like someone's head gets ripped off. It's like, well,
except for the end of season 2 was not that nice, and I can't say why because it'll spoil it. But season 2 ended on this really weird note, and then it just got canceled.
Okay,
so
well, that's good. I've been watching season 4, part 2 of Attack on Titan.
Oh yeah,
and that shit is, man, that show is intense. Like they literally just show 2 people talking to each other, and you're just like, you're at the edge of your seat. You're just like, holy shit. If you've never watched an anime, which I don't think you have, right?
I've watched
Pokemon. I think counts, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, but like I've watched some actual anime stuff with Lauren. Whenever she has it on, but like I've never watched like a whole series by myself, or I don't know what the plots and any of the stuff she was watching are either. I'll just tune in for a couple episodes, and then like I'll ask her like a week later. I was like, hey, did that guy ever escape from that truck that he was locked in? She's like, what are you talking about? I was like, that show you were watching a week ago.
but man, Attack on Titan, that was my first one, and that was an interesting one to start on, because like this isn't too spoiler because this happens in the first episode, but like in the first episode, the main character's mom gets eaten by this giant Titan thing.
Nice.
And so it's gory, it's bloody, it's just absolutely insane. It's so good. It's such a good show. And I know like hardcore anime fans hate it, but I'm not a hardcore anime fan. I've watched maybe 4. So
nice.
Very, very good so far.
I've probably watched the most of the original Pokemon series, and that's it.
Yeah. Pokemon.
Yeah.
I love Pokemon. You can't. I watched a lot of Diamond. I think I want to say it was like my sophomore year. I had the Pokemon app because it would just they do like 10 episodes, like cycles of different of each of the shows, and so I watched Diamond and Pearl all the way through. It took years. No, I think it took like a year and a half, but I finally got through all the Diamond and Pearl series. Oh, great show. Speaking of Diamond and Pearls, Book of Bobba Fett.
Speaking of Diamond and Pearls, the Tusken Raiders found a pearl in the monster, the Mandalorian, slayed in season 2, episode 1, when Mando got back the Boba Fett armor. The Boba Fett armor now used in the Book of Boba Fett. Boom.
I was referring to that pearl. That's actually what I was referring to. So good job.
Hey,
good job on connecting the dots. But episode 5, Book of Boba Fett became the Book of Mandalorian. Yes. We for some reason got 2 episodes of the Mandalorian in this show. So after you got done watching episode 5, well, you watched both episodes, right? Because last I texted you didn't watch 6 yet.
No, last we texted I had, because I texted you, oh my God, what?
Oh, that's right. You're right.
and then you were like, I know. And then I was like,
not next.
So much to talk about, exclamation mark, smiley face.
And then I did, here we come, 2.5 hour podcast.
Yeah.
But we've gotten good at doing this in a short amount of time. So
time for us to ruin it.
I know, right? So what was your initial reaction after you watched episode 5? And you're just like, Well, there's no Boba Fett in that episode.
Yeah, I was like, that was a pretty cool episode of The Mandalorian. I must have clicked on the wrong show. Like, I really, really liked the episode, but like, if Disney or Star Wars Server wanted to market the Book of Boba Fett, why include this as like a fan service thing where we go as far away from Boba Fett as possible, a different planet at the very start?
Oh, yeah, by the way, that's a great opening scene. And just because I'd recently gone back and started my rewatch of Mandalorian, I forgot how freaking violent he was. Like, that show is it's a violent show, The Mandalorian. At first it was.
And how he used the Darksaber, and
I know
in that whole fight scene about how he wasn't good at using the Darksaber, I really thought that was like a nice touch. And how like, because he wasn't used to like using those kinds of weapons, so he scratched himself on like the leg.
No, he got shot.
A lot. No, I had thought he like hit the.
No, he got shot. Someone shot him in the leg.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Dang. Okay. Well, never mind.
No, but I mean, you were right. He did. No, but he did.
Bad.
He did not know how to use it. He was cleared by that.
Okay.
And then later we got to figure out that it got heavier when you didn't know how to use it or whatever.
Hold on, time out, pause the podcast. Just we'll keep this in. We'll just watch that scene. I'll like pull it up. I'll watch the whole scene like right now. It'll be the best audio. Just me just staring at my phone, not speaking.
And me on my phone, not paying attention.
Yeah.
But the way he just snapped, he just like cut that man in half or that alien in half, and then cut its head off. Just like.
Yeah, very different from Boba Fett, because Boba Fett has been trying to use the like diplomacy route and stuff, which I like a lot for his character in the show. Like this was
when he's in it.
Yeah, this was like worlds away. It was literally worlds away. I just said that. I
don't even think they're on a planet. They're on like some space station or whatever.
Sure. Anyway, because he was there to get somebody or kill somebody to bring it back for information of where the rest of his kind was, or like the person who made the stuff
like that. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, anyway, he brings it back. He just wants the information, so then
he went and found him.
Yeah, so then he like gives her the head or whatever. Was like, done, give me the information. She's like, no, Sid, I have more missions for you. And he's like, no, tell me. Blah blah blah, and then she's like, okay, fine, it's there. And then I'm describing the episode too much. Anyway, but then there's another fight scene where like the Darksaber.
He was challenged.
He's trying to train how to use it, because like the spear, he had to melt the spear down because they're like, oh, we don't want to use like weapons or whatever,
because it can pierce the Beskar armor.
That can kill other Mandalorians.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the Darksaber can kill other Mandalorians, but oh well, like it's like a holy symbol or whatever. It
is what it is, man. I like how we got challenged for the Darksaber. That was cool.
But then they melt down the spear to make an item that we don't know what it is yet, but we know that it is for Grogu.
Mm-hmm. But I did like how he got challenged. That was cool.
He got challenged. Like I was like, yeah, I want that.
He's like, it belongs to me. I'm a Vizsla.
Yeah.
You are not. You're barely even a Mandalorian. And so they fight.
Yeah.
And then that's when was he kicked out of the Mandalorian? He's like, he's not. Is he? So, I'm confused by that part. So I don't know I don't know what goes.
Yeah. So what happened is that he won, right? He won the fight, and then they had the standard oath or creed or whatever was like, have you ever had your helmet removed? And they both said no, but Mandalorian was like, oh crap, because he knew what the next part was. And it was like, have you ever removed your helmet voluntarily? And he did not answer. And she was like, hello. And he was like, yes, I have. And they were like, blasphemy. But what they said is like, you are no longer a Mandalorian, basically. And the only way to redeem yourself is to like bathe in the Lake of the Mines of Mandalore or whatever. There's something very specific.
I don't know how you remember that much. I forgot about that part.
And like he was like, I can't do that because Mandalorian, we don't have Mandalore now. It's destroyed or whatever. And she was like, oh well, too bad. That'd be the only way.
To suck.
So I think this officially confirms Mando season 3. They're going back to Mandalore because I think this starts his arc there. I think he's like, I want to be redeemed, so I have to go here and like reclaim this planet so I can bathe in this. And become a Mandalorian again. So I really like that plot device or whatever, or like this this way of kickstarting the story.
Right. And never before have I ever seen a backdoor pilot for a show we already have.
Yeah.
But
that is kind of odd.
So he went. Oh, he got a new ship. That's what happened the rest of the episode. He got to Tatooine.
Yeah, because he had to hop on the bus, and they were like, "Take out all your weapons." And he was like, I can't. I'm a Mandalorian." And they're like, "No, you're not going to board here." And he just dumps like all of them out. This is a dark side. I was like, nobody better steal this. That would be so tragic.
That was a very Marvel. That was a very MCU type scene.
Yeah.
You know, but it was great. Like he's like sitting there taking out all the weapons.
And he's like, I know exactly everything that's in there, so everything better still be in there when we get to Tatooine.
Yeah, and so he got on the bus.
Also, I thought for sure the bus would be like the Star Tours ride. That was the perfect opportunity to have that.
Oh my god,
and then they didn't do it because I saw it. Because like you know, I had just been back to Disney World in December, so I just ridden Star Tours. So it's like on my mind, I was like, as soon as I saw him boarding, I was like, it's going to be Star Tours.
Mm-hmm.
And then no, it was just like this giant thing. That was the perfect opportunity for them to tie that in.
You're right,
especially with it being like a Disney thing still, and they ruined it.
So he gets to Tatooine. I think he just kind of gets wherever he just kind of gets there, right? Just not really.
He went there to talk to.
I don't know her name.
But that was his purpose in being there, just to see if she could have a ship for him, and she did, but not the one he wanted.
Right.
Really cool ship. I like the ship a lot because it was the things from episode 1, right?
Yep. It was the
episode 1 of like the movies.
It was like a new Naboo Royal Fighter or something like that.
Yeah, I really like those ships always. So it was really cool seeing them again. It was cool to get them to see like. You know, basically pull a Colton here, I'll say, and just like rebuild like a car, basically make a really nice car. Yeah,
it was cool. It was this episode was for the prequel fans for sure. To see that, and then later on in the episode, he rode through the what was basically the course from the. Oh my God, what is it called? Race.
A lot of people say that it doesn't make sense for a bounty hunter to have that kind of a ship, which I understand.
I saw a meme about it, actually. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
It was like he was shoving someone in the little port at the top where the little Grogu would sit. And it was like and then it said, "You may not be coming in warm."
But yeah, like so which is why I think for next season it'll steer away from him being a bounty hunter as well. I really think next season will be him trying to retake Mandalore.
I thought he was gonna be. I didn't realize. I didn't think he was gonna be a man. I didn't think he was gonna be a bounty hunter when we saw him next. To be honest, I thought.
Yeah.
And then to have this episode open up and him getting a bounty, I was like, huh, all right.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. But
then he's in space and he's zooming around because it's like super fast here, like super fast.
And then he got pulled over. That was funny.
Oh no. And before we get into all of that as well, I wanted to say one thing, because you remember when we talked the last podcast and we were like, what do we want to see in the next episodes here? We're talking about stuff. And I said, it would be cool to get to see the Jawas in the same way we got to see the Tuskens, where you get to learn more about them. Specifically.
You did.
And we kind of got that here. They're furry, apparently.
She dated Jawas. It was interesting to hear a human speak Jawanese or Jawese.
Yeah, that was cool too, because it means like it is a language. It's not just whatever. It's like you can communicate with them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I like how the Mandalorian treated them. He like paid them and stuff for the parts.
The Mandalorian, the Mandalorian has shown us that too. And like we kind of learned that like the Tusken Raiders weren't just they didn't just scream.
Yeah.
They could communicate via sign language, and then now they're showing us the Jawanese, I think it is,
Sure.
something like
But
that.
yeah,
It was a real language, not just random sounds.
I really like that. I really like getting to see the Jawas humanized, I guess.
Yeah.
Is like the word where they're not just creatures,
Mhm.
but they're people who have a society and culture
Mhm.
as well. Most of their culture is just stealing things.
And apparently they date human women, and they're furry.
Yeah.
They are very furry. She really brought that one home. They are furry little guys.
But yeah,
I dated one. I got this.
Yeah, but then he's like pulled over for going too fast and everything, kind of this weird interaction.
Yeah.
Which like I don't know, it was kind of odd. But like I guess it kind of served just to establish that, like, I'm not sure what it served to establish.
There was no purpose to that whatsoever.
Exactly. It was like, the guy was like, "Hey, don't I know you from like helping out?" And he was like, "Nope, bye."
It's like, you do not know me. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Adios, amigos. But
so we do know he has to be careful going too fast in the future, because if he gets pulled again. It was also so weird to see them like doing like highway patrol type stuff just in space.
That was strange.
Because that's the first time we've seen like them act like
I think so.
Like cops or whatever, I'll say, in like space.
Yeah,
they were just like, you were going too fast next to one vehicle.
Republic cops, because we've seen stormtroopers act like it, but never the Republic.
Well, like stormtroopers on like planets or whatever, but it was always
that's true.
It was always more like still like the military, but like military police or whatever. But this is just like straight up like highway patrol.
Imagine getting like first day in Starfighter from a planet that doesn't like do much spacefaring. You're just like, all right, you're gonna be a cop.
Yeah.
Highway patrol for you.
Oh my god.
You gotta patrol the hyperspace lanes, make sure people aren't going too fast. But
I also like how they referenced with the ship or whatever that it didn't need like the rings. I forget the names of like hyperspace rings. Yeah, hyperspace rings, because I don't think we've even heard them mentioned or reference that at all since like episode 3 of like Star Wars.
Nope.
Like never.
They've mentioned it a few times in books, but not on screen.
Hyperspace rings always seem so weird to me too, because it's like, what happens if you hyperspace to a planet and then your ring gets destroyed or stolen or
then you're stuck
whatever there. Yeah, it's just
until you get into a bigger ship that can carry your ship, you're just stuck there. And that's why they stopped using them.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, they've mentioned it a few times.
It was so weird to be like, oh yeah, this ship, it doesn't need hyperspace
more
rings.
Of an antique.
But like as hyperspace rings were still being used, and if so, it's like, why haven't we seen any hyperspace rings?
Yeah. And then at the end, oh my god, I can't remember her character's name. I only know her as Ming-Na Wen. Fennec Shand.
Fennec Shand, yeah.
You're right. Thank you. She came and was like, "Hey, Boba needs your help."
The closest thing to seeing Boba Fett the entire episode
was seeing
a character originally introduced in The Mandalorian.
Yep.
That was the closest thing to seeing Boba Fett.
And then in episode 6, what did you think of episode 5? You said you enjoyed it, but
yes.
I had words apparently.
Yeah. I liked it. I didn't know what episode 6 would be after seeing episode 5. I was like, are we gonna get back to Boba Fett now? Because the Mandalorian was like, I have something I need to take care of first, and obviously it was implied he was visiting Grogu. So I'm playing with like a slinky just off camera, and it keeps
I've been playing with my pop socket over here on the side this entire time. I'm just like over here, just like
But yeah, I had no idea if we were going to go back to Boba Fett and just Mandalorian would like loop back around at the end, or if we were going to follow the Mandalorian still and see what he does.
Mhm.
But I liked the episode. It just didn't feel like Boba Fett.
Right. Well,
Like,
in some instances, it's probably good because like I didn't like the show. I wasn't the biggest fan of the show up until then. So I don't know.
yeah, it's just odd. It's
Um,
just like the way Boba Fett was marketed versus what we've got
is weird.
We got 2 episodes of flashbacks, 2 episodes you could call like the series, and then 2 episodes of the Mandalorian. It's so far we have more stuff of not what was advertised versus what was advertised.
On the next episode, I'm gonna try to get RJ on because he has liked it from the beginning.
Oh yeah,
and so I think that'd be an interesting perspective to add. And but I will say,
but like it was nice. Like I did like the episode. It just didn't feel like the series I was promised.
Right.
But like I liked it a lot. It's like this really weird mixed feelings here. It's like if I turned on like
Legends of Tomorrow.
Like it's like if I turned it's like in March when Moon Knight comes out, if you watch the first episode of Moon Knight and it's just Spider-Man after No Way Home, just swinging around stopping crimes, that would be really cool to see. But you're like, wait, where's Moon Knight? Whatever to the Moon Knight show.
True. It's very true.
Like I really like seeing Spider-Man. I love Spider-Man, but like what happened to Moon Knight?
Or if like you turn on WandaVision and then like the first 2 episodes are Doctor Strange.
Yeah. You're like, what? Or if you're gonna watch Doctor Strange: The Multiverse of Madness and it's just like WandaVision extended, you're like, this is cool.
But
like
not what it's
Doctor Strange. Yeah.
When they were building the ship, right? And I've mentioned this before. One of my biggest pet peeves is when Hollywood tries to explain technology.
Oh yeah.
Real or fake. And I wrote this is exactly what I wrote down. At one point, they were talking about the ship and the parts it was missing and such. And I hate when people who don't know try to explain the technology, fake or otherwise. And I had a damn aneurysm. Oh my God, they're trying to explain things and what goes where. And look, I don't know cars, but holy shit, I was so bothered by that scene. It's like, oh my God, none of this makes any sense. Which it's not supposed to. It's fake technology, but still, wow. I had that problem with the James Luceno book about the Death Star that he did a lot of explaining. And so like I looked up his background. He's like backpacked across Europe during college, and so he didn't go to college. And it's like he's trying to explain technology, and I'm like, please stop trying to explain technology. You're not good at it. But and then I also wrote down the ship that they built seems like what we humans in this world would build as like the first single person spacefaring ship. No, that's just what I thought. Maybe I'll be the one to do it. Who knows? And then Bryce Dallas Howard directed this and Jon Favreau wrote it. Fantastic duo.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Anyway, that brings us to episode 6.
Yeah.
And it almost immediately answered my question of what this episode would be like. Because I'm pretty sure it starts off on Mandalorian, like arriving at a new planet, right?
Yes. So this is where the fan service begins.
Because the ship descends and there's like a droid waiting for him there, and it's none
R2.
other than BB-8. Oh yeah, it's R2.
Could you imagine? I'm like, wait a second, how did BB-8 get from being here to being with Poe? I'm confused now.
Funny.
No, but it's R2D2.
Yeah,
and that's pretty much when I'm like, so like everyone's gonna be in this episode. Except the Mandalorian. Oh no, wait! Doesn't it open on? Fett. That's what I meant. Boba Fett.
Right.
He's so significant in the show. I don't remember who's not. He's not supposed to. No, because doesn't it open it up on them like planning or something? Or is that later? Who? Boba Fett was in this episode.
Planning.
Oh wait, a second.
Wait, was that it was either at the start or at the end?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. I
think it was the start.
It was at the end. I thought, never mind. We're in
whatever. Boba Fett was in this episode.
Yes, he was.
And not very much. The frog was on screen for longer than
He
Boba
had a
Fett
cool thing.
was.
Yeah. Those
But
frogs.
anyway, so
The Mandalorian's there. He's like, take me to Grogu. And then R2D2 leads him to a construction site and then shuts down.
I like those little builder droids. They were
Yeah,
weird. They kind of look like ants.
that
That
was
was cool.
cool. Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah. So
like
he
those. And
shut
then
down, and
they build
then
him a bench to sleep on while he waits.
I thought that
And
was
then
funny.
and then we see Luke training Grogu, and it's still CGI Luke, which I'm guessing based on this episode goes, this will be his last appearance here. I'm not
guess.
sure. I liked CGI Luke.
It looked better this
Dude,
time than in the
yeah.
Mandalorian.
Yeah. There are a lot of people who have issues with him. They're like, oh, he seems too like robotic here, and there's not like the warmth that we like expect Luke to have. But like, I kind of liked all of that because it like I really think it explains him in like the Last Jedi very well here, because how he trained Grogu here looks a lot like how Jedi were trained doing like the Clone Wars and like all of that.
Well,
and obviously that failed, that went wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of see things like, oh, if he follows the same path, things might go wrong as well. And that might explain why he's so spiteful, like against Jedi in the Jedi way and the Last Jedi.
Mm-hmm.
So I just like that a lot.
Mm-hmm. And you could kind of tell his inexperience with training, because he almost word for not word for word, but like actually no, word for word, doing what Obi-Wan and Yoda had him doing.
Yes.
And I thought that was really cool parallel to see.
And I really like the line as well where he was talking to Ahsoka. Spoiler alert: Ahsoka's in this episode. That was cool. I did not expect that. Yeah. But and it kind of makes sense because when I was looking at like Rebels or whatever, I was like, how is it possible that like Ahsoka and Luke would not be aware of each other the entire time of like episodes 4, 5, and 6? So now obviously it is canon that like they met at some point here.
Mm-hmm.
But it was really cool. The line that like Luke said to Ahsoka was like, I'm really not training him. I'm just reminding, like, this is like a refresher to him. He's already learned all of this. I'm just refreshing his memory. I don't think I'm actually good at training him yet.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I love the line that she said when she found Mando when he woke up. When she said, "I'm a friend of the family's," which means that Luke knows that Ahsoka and Anakin were friends, which seeing it all come together, like, because this is like the first time like Star Wars has like come together like that, like we've known, like we knew Darth Vader, who he was from where, but like now it's like come together and it's been pieced together like a puzzle, like I thought that was so cool. I thought that was great. And then when she said, like, when Luke she told Luke,
Luke finally gets to talk to somebody who, like, now that he knows who his father is, he gets to talk to somebody about who his father is. Because like obviously like Obi-Wan knew, but did not.
He died.
Like he didn't talk to him a lot of stuff. The last thing was like, oh yeah, your father was a Jedi. That's it. That's the end of the story.
Your father was a Jedi. We fought the Clone Wars together, and now deflect this.
Something happened towards the end. I don't really remember what exactly. We'll circle back to this later, but
yeah. And then
what was I saying though? Oh, it was you were saying.
Well, yeah, and then I like the line where Ahsoka was like, "You're a lot like your father,"
And that line was so funny. I knew it was kind of spawned memes.
Oh yeah.
Like as soon as I heard it, and the best one I think I've seen is like Ahsoka saying, you remind me a lot of your father. And it's the one shot of like Grogu training, and then Luke activated the lightsaber, juxtaposed right next to Anakin entering the temple after he's like there with all the kids. I was like, oh my god, that is so funny. That is so funny.
Not the younglings. Okay, speaking of, still my favorite. Oh my god. I went back and watched that again, and oh my god, how we made it through that episode is beyond me. But anyway, Grogu's flashback
Yeah.
was intense.
So when there was first that whole like thing where he was like, oh, look back to like where you came from or whatever, I was like, wait, are we going to see like Grogu's home planet,
Me too.
Yoda's home planet,
I
all
was
that
like, finally.
stuff? And then open and it just flashed to like gunfire from like the clones or whatever. It was like, oh my god, it's not expected. But
Dave
that was
Filoni,
really getting to see all the Jedi fall, but like I don't understand it because like I thought Grogu escaped somehow, but like the flashback ends with like him being taken by the clones. So it beats me.
Yeah, apparently Dave Filoni and everything he touches, there's some sort of Order 66 flashback or a reference or something like to relive Order 66. Man, they really love reminding us of Order 66, don't they? And again, that's everything tying itself together again, you know. Grogu is in the newer Star Wars, it's also connecting back to the older Star Wars, and you know, it's cool.
And it's really funny to me, honestly, that it showed all of the clones like gunning down the Jedi and all that. But then when it came to the Padawan, they didn't shoot him. They just like took him away. Meaning, I think Anakin was going really off book when he just slaughtered all of the children. Because if the clones were doing Order 66 and they specifically did not kill any children, I think Anakin was just out of his mind at that point. I don't think he had to do that.
No, of course not.
Because like at first I was like, oh, Order 66, it must mean kill all the Jedi, which is why he killed the children. Obviously, the clones were not under those orders. So it wasn't like he was like told to do it, or it wasn't like, you know, part of the plan. He went way off book. Way off book.
Mr. Skywalker, there are too many of them. Yeah, you're right. There are too many of you. Oh God.
There are too many of who? Too many of you. Okay, I can help with that. Why don't you just say so?
Oh jeez, man, they really just they will shove Order 66 anywhere. So I feel like we're gonna get another flashback of that with Grogu, to see how he actually escaped. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, but okay, so because then, you know, there's like the Mando's talking to Ahsoka and it's like, I want to see him. I have this for him, and like Ahsoka is like, do you want to see him for him or do you want to see him for you? Because like he's really attached to you, but like attachment isn't part of the Jedi way, and it can harm his training. It can harm him, which it's weird that like that Ahsoka is reciting all of this Jedi stuff, because you know her experiences with the Jedi were not what I'll call all positive.
No, they tried to frame her for bombing them.
Yeah, so it's weird to see her like kind of taking the Jedi's side on this, I'll say, being like, oh, you can't do this because this goes against the Jedi way. It's like, Ahsoka, I like know you were a Jedi and you're like with a Jedi, but like surely you can't think that everything the Jedi taught is still right.
Well, and she's adamantly said before that she is no Jedi.
Yeah. So it's just a little odd, but like then the Mandalorian decides to leave it with her to give to Luke to hopefully give to Grogu and all that. But and the Mandalorian leaves. Is there anything else we want to talk about before we talk about like the last scene of this episode? Because I can't really remember anything else that happens.
I don't remember.
The Mandalorian's back with Boba Fett at some point, and they're like, we're gonna. Oh, the balming.
The balming.
Yeah, with like how the Pikes Syndicate walked into the restaurant with like a suitcase.
Oh yeah, was that episode 4? Or sorry, 5?
6.
Oh, that was 6.
I'm
bomb.
Pretty sure it was 6. Yeah.
You said okay. I understand why you said it that way.
Okay.
Demonetization. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. They walked into the.
Yeah, and they put in the suitcase and they acted all weird and they left, and the droid was like, "You forgot your suitcase," and then that And then I
Boom.
almost forgot the other thing where the Mandalorian's like, or like, Boba Fett's like, we still need more numbers, and the Mandalorian's like, I got you, and he goes to talk to the Marshal,
That's right.
and like the town is more of a town now.
Oh my God, how did we forget like the biggest part of this episode?
Yeah, because I was like,
So much
I know
happened in
something
this
else big
episode.
happened. Yeah. But then he goes and like the Marshal's like, I don't know if we can, but Mandalorian's like, hang it over. The Marshal decides to call a town meeting. But after the Mandalorian leaves, the Marshal's, before he goes back inside, he sees a figure walking towards him. And as soon as I saw the cowboy hat, I was like, no way.
Well, at first I thought it was the other
way.
guy, the guy who has the spinning hat. Because I'm always looking for that guy.
I love that guy.
Because he's a bounty hunter too.
I love that guy.
He would have then he started getting
cool
closer. I was like, wait a second.
But yeah, as soon as I saw the cowboy hat, I was like, I know. And I was like, please. And then it was him. It was Cad Bane. Very pale. A very pale Cad Bane. He looked great in every other way.
He's gonna be like 90 by this point.
He looked exactly like his Clone Wars, like, animated version in every way, except for just how pale he was. Like, I get with age, it's probably just an age thing. But that was so funny.
Man, they did such a good job with that.
They rocked that.
Oh my God. It sent chills down my spine. Like, that was so cool.
I could not remember if in the Bad Batch he survived being kicked out the window by Fennec Shan and like that planet or whatever. And I saw him, I was like, I guess he did.
Yeah.
And it was cool that he's so close to Fennec Shan now. I wonder if they're gonna have like a real a rematch, a live.
Oh, shit's gonna be crazy.
A rematch. That's almost as cool as Boba Fett meeting Luke Skywalker again. Just that kind of confrontation. But yeah, that was so cool. Like I loved seeing Cad Bane in live action because we have not seen Cad Bane like I want to say in so long. Obviously, we just saw him in like the Bad Batch, but like still,
timeline wise, it's been a long time.
Yeah. It just felt so nice getting that Cad Bane is somehow still alive. But was there?
What's his name's dead?
Oh, yeah.
Cad Bane killed him.
He shoots the deputy and then shoots the Marshal. I don't know if the Marshal is dead yet or not. It's possible the Marshal has survived. The deputy looked pretty dead.
Yes.
But the Marshal might be alive still. It didn't look like it was necessarily like a killing wound.
Fatal,
it went more to his shoulder. So we will see. But the Pikes Syndicate is definitely about to wage a war. So
oh yeah, that's for sure. Well, a lot of people were thinking that the Pikes weren't the ones who sent.
That was the opening scene. The opening scene had the Marshal, I think, because it was the Pikes Syndicate trying to do a trade. And the Marshal, he like gunned down the three of them, or something,
which was cool.
Whatever. He was like, "You can take the money, but leave the spice." So the dude left, and then he just like dumped all the spice out into the sand.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember his name. I can't because I remember his name, but I can't think of it at this moment.
Whose name?
The Marshal.
Oh, I thought his name was just the Marshal, like first name the last name Marshal.
Book of Boba Fett or whatever it's called. The Book of the Mandalorian.
That was a super cool scene. It had like a lot of like a lot of Western vibes as
Cobb Vanth. That's what his name is.
Oh, all right. Okay. But it was nice. It was nice to see that. Hope he's alive still because I've always liked his character.
It's weird for me to see that actor Timothy Oliphant like that because I only know him from the Santa Clarita Diet where he played a moron. So
anyway, anything else to talk about before the last scene?
Not that I know of.
Sweet.
The last scene.
Yes. Would you like to do the honors here, or would you?
Sure.
Okay, perfect.
Luke. So first off, the little robots have finished building the Jedi temple or whatever. I guess the Jedi hut, and so Luke and first we didn't talk about how they recreated the Yoda and Luke scene. With Yoda with Grogu and Luke, that was great.
Yeah, and Grogu can now jump, which is helpful.
Grogu can jump.
He's a lot more mobile now.
I liked
no more of like the waddle thing. Like he does that still, but he also can jump and backflip.
I liked how like Luke was moving him with the Force so he would keep up with him.
Yes, because
That
at
was
first
so
I saw him
funny.
like come down. I was like, is he's like hopping? And I saw Luke like go like that. That was perfect.
That was so
That
good.
was such a smart idea on like
Yeah,
whoever choreographed that scene or whatever was responsible for that idea. That was fantastic.
it was adorable watching Grogu jump
There was a
around
lot of
and stuff
training.
like that.
He used like the ball that like from episode 4 that
Mhm.
shot everything,
And
and
shot
Grogu
Grogu,
destroyed it.
and then he did.
Like Grogu was learning how to jump or whatever, and he just used the Force and he was like crush, and he
He's like, I'm
fell
tired of
water.
this.
Yeah, which
But
is so funny because I cannot imagine that Luke has a lot of them on hand.
no, but yeah. And so the entire time they're
It was
doing
so
that
funny.
compilation, the
Sorry,
training compilation.
also with that, he did not tell Grogu what it was going to do at all. He just let it shoot Grogu. That was so funny to me. Expected him to give Grogu some kind of heads up. Just nope. If I was Grogu, I'd be like, I'm not trusting you now. You gave me this death ball and did not tell me anything about it.
But yeah, and I like
Yoda's
what was I saying?
lightsaber.
We haven't got
No,
patience.
I'm saying that like in that whole compilation or whatever, he like pulled out Yoda's lightsaber and was like this because
Oh, yeah.
It was right after he destroyed the orb. It was like
Oh
the
yeah,
next
that's right.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
Yeah,
he's
so
talking
like,
to Ahsoka.
what?
When he was talking to Ahsoka.
No, like to Grogu.
Oh.
He was like, this is Yoda's lightsaber. He was one of your kind as well, lived to be like 900 years old. And I was like, wow, he has like I guess it makes sense that he had Yoda's lightsaber still, but we haven't seen Yoda's lightsaber and since the Clone
episode
Wars.
3.
Yeah. What?
Episode 3 of not the show, the movie.
Oh,
episode,
yeah.
Revenge of
The
the Sith.
movie, yeah, we haven't seen the live action version since no, wasn't in episode 5. Didn't make an appearance at all in episode 5? No, so I don't even know how Luke found it because there's no conversation where Yoda was like, "Oh, by the way, my lightsaber is like in this box over here." But yes, we got to see that, and I always forgot how small it was compared to like other lightsabers that we've seen, which makes sense because Yoda was like
small. But so the entire time they were doing that little training compilation where they recreated what they did in Empire Strikes Back. Have you seen the bad lip reading song for that? The seagulls.
Stop it now.
Stop it now. It's just the entire time I was listening, I was going.
It's brilliant. Oh,
but
man.
Anyway, so the last scene.
Yeah. So
Luke is they're sitting in the little temple thing.
Yeah, and so in the previous scene, we've noticed that like Mandalorian left him a gift, and we've also seen Yoda's lightsaber.
Right.
These are things that are interesting.
They're sitting there and he's like, all right, so your friend brought you this, and he shows him like armor, like his little chainmail armor. Then it's Grogu size, so it's like this big. He like holds it up, he's like, woo, and then like he says, he said, you can have this, and he pulls out Yoda's lightsaber, or you can have this. So if you choose to stay with me and train to become a Jedi, you cannot see the Mandalorian again. But if you go and see the Mandalorian again, you can no longer train to be a Jedi. So that's where we left off. We're left off on Grogu having to make a choice, even though he can barely speak. And he's here having to make this choice.
As soon as I saw that scene, I thought of a great meme, and I haven't seen anyone make this meme yet online. I may have missed it, but just the way things were spread out, I wanted to so badly Photoshop 3 Pokeballs onto the blanket and Professor Oak's face over Luke Skywalker's.
You should do it, and we'll post it to the chip roasting page.
Yes. I might have to, because it was just the way it was spread out. The way it was like, you can choose one of these things, but not all of them. Just reminded me so much. It would be so funny too if like Luke like picked up the other one and like used that one, or like there's a rival Grogu who came in and chose the other one. That would be so great.
Ben Solo comes in and grabs the little lightsaber.
Oh man,
that'd be funny.
But yeah. So the first question with regards to that scene is: do you think we'll figure out the choice Grogu made in the Book of Boba Fett, or do you think they will save that for Hey there. Not asking about what choice you think he'll make or anything, but just do you think we'll find out the choice in the book of Boba Fett or not?
Um, I think we will, just because of
Yeah.
the way the last two episodes were trending. I think it's a very good possibility, but I think leaving it on a cliffhanger makes it more intriguing to watch Mandalorian season 3. Not that anyone needed that. I think everyone's gonna watch it anyway. But
And
it's okay. So to give it a definitive answer, no, I don't think they will do it.
okay.
What about you?
And I don't know my answer to that question. This next question I'm going to ask you as well, but I want to ask you this next question before I answer either one of them for myself.
Okay.
Which one do you think he will choose?
I think he's gonna change. I'm gonna think he's gonna choose to be a Mandalorian. I do.
All right. Yeah.
Disney makes too much money off of him to not be in season 3.
Mhm. I am the exact same way, and like,
Okay.
I don't think we'll see any more of him in the Book of Boba Fett at all. I believe this is set up the perfect way for Mandalorian season 3 to start off, because season 2 ended with Grogu like leaving him. I don't think it'll make sense if they just start off season 3 with their already, oh, Grogu's already chosen me back, he's already back, well, whatever. I think it makes sense to like find out like, oh, Mandalorian's just out in space, and he gets a call saying like, hey, Grogu has chosen to return to you here. I think that makes the most sense. That way there's like, that way we have all the extra stuff in the Book of Boba Fett, so we know what the Mandalorian's up to, but it's not necessarily super important to the plot.
Right.
And then Mandalorian fans, they just can jump right to Grogu leaving, to Grogu returning, knowing that some stuff has happened in the background, but not like having to know it. It's not it's not like it'll open up and like Mandalorian's already back on the planet, just like, okay, I'm scooping him up now, and everyone's like, wait, what's going on here? I think having the choice and having that be the last you see of Grogu in the Book of Boba Fett makes for a perfect Mandalorian season 3 opening.
Yeah, and that's what I was gonna say that about that was that people who aren't watching the Book of Boba Fett but are watching Mandalorian. They're gonna turn on they just turned off their TV, watched him leave with Luke. They're gonna turn it back on. It's like, how did he get back with Mando? What is going on?
Exactly.
Yeah. So
yeah. And I have seen some debate of people who think that he might pick the lightsaber and everything, but to me that doesn't make sense story-wise at all.
No.
If he picks the lightsaber, it just means that like we'll never see him in the Mandalorian again. So
well, and then we're going back to like where we were with Order 66. Like, well, did Ben kill him? Like, is he still alive?
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Yeah.
So like, I think the only way for this to make. I just had a really cool thought. I hadn't thought of this before at all, but I was jumping way ahead in my mind.
Yeah. Oh God.
What if Grogu, like not in the Mandalorian, but if there's like a show like after episode 9 where he's aged, where he rules Mandalore with the Darksaber. Like, how cool would that be?
That'd be pretty cool.
You see like a mature Grogu, whatever, all Mandalorian armor, wielding the Darksaber. He would be unstoppable. Oh my God.
Mandalorian I am.
That would be so. Oh, Ruler that was a super funny line as well, where like Luke was talking to Grogu and was like, hey, yeah, the other person I knew of your species like talked like in riddles or whatever. And this was like, are you gonna talk like that? Or are you gonna talk normal? I'm so glad that he actually has that interest. I'm so glad, because like back whenever in like Mandalorian season 2, I was like, is he gonna have that question or not? It's gonna be like, how
we talked about that, yeah.
So it was super great that he actually asked about that now.
He's like, yeah, I forgot about that line. That was really funny.
I would love to see, because this actually opens up for content past episode 9.
which we are in dire need of. Like
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't like Rey, but I love Rey. I need to see what
Yeah.
happens with Rey. I need to see what
Yeah.
happens with Poe. I need to
Because
see what happens with Finn. Mostly, I want to see
like,
Rey train Finn, but
that whole sequel trilogy and stuff did not do enough for like the main characters. I wanted to see more content with the main characters, and we never really got that because of how all of the movies were paced. Like, you know, no matter which ones are your favorite or least favorite, like all the movies kind of had this weird pacing that wasn't really a problem in like the original trilogy or the prequel one. It's like those trilogies got more time with all the characters, and this one just kind of felt rushed.
Right. Well, and we don't have any books past 9 either.
Yeah.
Like I think the newest book in terms of where we are in canon, other than the novelization, is Resistance Reborn, which takes place between 8 and 9. So we have nothing, like no content past episode 9 whatsoever. Except no, I don't think we have comics. I know there's comics where like Rey is in them, but like I don't think it's before or after it in episode 9.
Yeah.
So
anyway,
Grogu and Rey.
Okay, that's even cooler.
Well, because then it wraps up everything, right? Because Ahsoka knew Grogu, and Grogu knew Luke, and Grogu and Rey, and then everything is connected in some way.
Wow. Yeah.
Anyway, so what do you expect? So okay,
Grogu can be talking to Rey. He's like, I knew your grandfather.
Oh my god, that'd be funny. But your grandfather killed all my friends, or your adopted grandfather killed all my friends.
Yes.
Yes.
But because that's what it essentially would end up being. It's like your grandfather and your adopted grandfather teamed up to murder everybody I knew.
But
yeah, so final thoughts about both of these episodes here.
Very great Mandalorian episodes.
Yes, I agree. Well, like episode 5 was like an episode of the Mandalorian directly in every way. This episode 6 felt like half Mandalorian, half the series we've never seen.
Yeah, you're right. No, okay, and purely this was just Star Wars. Yeah. Like not Star Wars Book of Boba Fett, not Star Wars Mandalorian. It's just Star Wars.
Episode 6 was hands down Star Wars. Yes, Star Wars the show.
Wars. Exactly. So apparently there's only one episode left, which I did not realize.
What an odd number of episodes.
I know.
I made that joke before. I had to make it
again
before the podcast
started.
7 episodes. What an odd number.
Yep. What do you expect from this last episode?
The
war?
I expect it to solely focus on the Jawas and the colorful speeder bikes. And then just like briefly at the end, you hear like discussion that like Boba Fett wrapped everything up and everything is happy now.
There you go.
Just all in the background.
There you go.
You see that it's just like a 40-minute video of like the Jawas dismantling speeder bikes. In the background, you see like Mandalorian flying around and a black Crusader shooting things, then Boba Fett's ship just flying or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you assume everything worked out in the end, and then it's like, we'll return in the short story of Jawas or whatever.
Probably wouldn't be surprised.
I want to see Cad Bane involved in a fight with Fennec Shan. I would love to see that. Besides that, can't necessarily think of anything specific. Again, it seems like we've only gotten 2 true episodes of the Book of Boba Fett, so I really don't know what to expect. But looking forward to this last episode a lot.
I think we're gonna get Kira from Solo, and
that's what I want to see.
And it's gonna introduce the bad guy for Book of Boba Fett season 2, and it's gonna be Crimson Reign versus Boba Fett.
Interesting.
For season 2, even though we got absolutely nothing in season 1.
I figured out what I want to see.
Yeah, shoot.
I want to see Itchy or whatever his name was from
Itchy
Star Wars
Waru.
Holiday Special. Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
no. It's Lumpy Waru.
Yeah.
Itchy's the grandfather.
No,
The weird,
no,
creepy. Oh, you
but
want to see the weird, creepy grandfather? Okay.
I was right. Yeah. I want to see
All right.
Itchy. I want Itchy to make an appearance.
All right.
I don't know how long the Wookiee lifespan is. It's probably out there. It's probably already canon.
200 to 300 years, I believe.
Okay, then Itchy might be alive still. I don't know how old he was, and so look, he looked pretty old, but
yes, he did. He was an old
he's around
pervert.
still. Yep. Oh, yes, he was. That was a very weird scene that he had.
So awkward.
Uh,
Anyway.
But yeah, in all seriousness, it would just be nice to see cool things. If the Crimson Dawn is around still, actually no, because Darth Maul is no longer alive. Right?
I think Kira's
Is
the head
Darth
of it
Maul
now. No, he's not alive. He
alive?
was killed by
No.
Obi-Wan and
Yeah,
Rebels. I think Kira's
He was
the head
killed
of
by
it
Obi-Wan in
because
Rebels.
yeah.
Is that like I remember they got into a fight in Rebels, like lightsabers and everything. I could not remember how it
Yeah,
ended,
he
so,
died.
dang.
Remember, because he used the same move on him, and he tried to, and that he used on Qui-Gon, but Obi-Wan was able to,
Oh, okay. Dang.
yeah, and stabbed him. And then he's like, and then he
Oh,
was
well.
like, "Is he the one?" And Obi-Wan was like, "Yes." He said, make sure he kills him for us or whatever." I don't know.
Oh, because of Luke.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. Yeah.
But
okay. I do remember that now.
yes, but I think Kira's in charge of Crimson Dawn now because she is like they have a comic going on called Crimson Reign, and she is like the lead character in it. So
sweet. Anyway, so we
Anyway.
will see what we get from that episode then, and then once that's
Yep.
over between Boba Fett and Moon Knight, we will scramble for content.
Figure it out.
We'll do it all for you, our devoted fans.
Yep, the ones who don't watch us on YouTube. So with that, don't forget to subscribe to me on YouTube and watch these podcasts. I mean, just put it on in the background. I don't care. Subscribe to
Or-
Brennan at Not Brennan. He might eventually make a video. Who knows? I don't. He doesn't.
Or
either.
just keep listening to these podcasts on Spotify only. It's probably painful enough with just the audio. Adding the visual on top of that, it might be unbearable. So
maybe. But yeah, and then follow us on Instagram at Chip Roasting. I will post eventually. Maybe we'll post that meme Brennan was talking about.
Yeah, maybe I'll post that meme, and it'll be like, haha, you remember from the episode? Then you'll be like, what episode? Do you listen to it yet? Or I'll be like, watch it on YouTube.
It'd be really funny if you
You'll
were
see our
able to put
mouths
the
moving.
meme up before I put the episode up.
I will do my best to edit. I might be able to get it edited like
That's fine. It's whatever. I think the
Nice.
podcast goes up on Tuesday
I will
night.
see.
So,
I don't
so with
any
that,
plans. I don't think this stuff.
we will see you guys
here.
in
Yes.
2 weeks when we're
2
done with
weeks.
the Book of Boba Fett
Yes.
and whatnot, and then we'll figure it out from there. So, peace out, everyone.
Yes. Peace out. Peace.